Luka, JJ had hinted before the game, sometimes the first home game back after a long trip can just feel like almost an extension of the trip from an energy standpoint. How did you guys kind of find it in that fourth to separate?
Just trying to close the game. We know what we do down the stretch. Obviously, we didn't play well for 3 quarters, but then it was a good end of the quarter, so we won the game.
Luka, you scored 41 again. That's 2 straight 40-point games, 6 in your last 12. What's allowed you to not only reach this level, but sustain this scoring rhythm you've been in?
Good question. I mean, just playing my game, just trying to get downhill. Sometimes the three is going, sometimes not. Just trying to touch the paint and make plays and see what the difference gives me.
Luka, you picked up your 16th technical again. What kind of happened on that play?
He was in my face 3 times. I just wanted to get out of there. It's a double tech, of course. What can I say? I didn't even talk. I just wanted to get out of there. They say my push was exaggerated, which was obviously not. And I don't know what else to tell you, man.
Luka, just the fact that you played through your hamstring and got through this game, got through this whole road trip, how do you feel like you need to approach these next 2 days of rest?
It's definitely, we got two games, 2 days between finally. I think it's the first time we got 2 days between the games after All-Star. So definitely get a lot of ice, a lot of recovery.
Luka, la posibilidad latente del MVP con los cánticos de la afición, ¿qué significaría eso para ti? ¿Cómo ves esta carrera a final de temporada?
Sí, ojalá, pero mejor que juegue, voy más para abajo en el rating, así que no sé lo que puedo hacer más.
Luka, obviously at this point you guys are looking towards the playoffs, but how are you kind of approaching these last few games, and what is kind of your focus as you guys wind down the season?
We're not looking at playoffs at all. We're going game by game. The West is very tight, so we need to go game by game and focus on the playoffs when we get there.
Thanks, Luka.
All right, let's talk a little Austin Reaves. We were saying how he obviously had some tired legs, and I think he was a little disappointed in his first 3 quarters, and he came out absolutely on fire. And Fish talked about Danny, how he saw one go down, and that's all he needed. He had 4 threes in the fourth. He had 15 of his 26 points in the fourth. He also had 8 rebounds and 5 assists.
Yeah, and before that point, we were talking about how bad or how much of a struggle it was for him throughout the game. Not only because he wasn't scoring a bunch, but the turnovers, uncharacteristic type of plays that he was having, and he just looked very frustrated. But as a shooter, as a scorer, all it takes is one. And so when he saw the one go down, he started feeling a little rhythm. He had another one go down, then right there he's back to his old self. Then he started getting to the basket, getting to the free throw line some, then closed the game with about a 3 or so. So he hit 2 early, he had a little break from it, get to the paint, and then hit one in transition from Luka.
Yep.
Then that last one, to pretty much put a dagger in the game. But yeah, all it takes is one for a scorer and a shooter to kind of feel in rhythm. And he got there, and he got there in a hurry.
Yeah, he played through it. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets had the Lakers occupied a lot in the first half defensively, and Austin was kind of occupied with trying to keep people off the boards and struggling with the defense. But once he saw one go through, and that's all a good shooter, needs to see is one go through. I wasn't a great shooter, but whenever I got a layup or something, it felt good. Yeah. But he, and had four threes in the fourth quarter.
James, what about Jackson Hayes, who played that entire fourth quarter, and he was coming off his first double-double in about a year, and great energy. And D.A. was awesome, too, with the 3 blocks defensively. But when you look at Jackson's line, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks, and just great energy.
He is very active. He comes from a distance, to block shots. He alters them, but then he'll come from the weak side. And also, when he comes from the weak side, the rotation seems to be pretty good. Man, sliding down in front of his man. So he's very active. He's acrobatic. He's in a dunking contest. So, yeah, he's airborne. He wants to go up and slap him out of the air. How many blocks did you say?
5.
I was going to say
DA had 3, so 8 blocks
so
between the bigs.
I mean, before you mentioned the 5 blocks, I was going to say he had a couple key possessions where he got stops himself, and not just the blocks, but rebounds, but mostly the blocks coming out of nowhere and contesting shots. So he did what he was supposed to do, and also they were struggling free throw line. He didn't shoot great percentage, but he made some free throws down the stretch, some where it kind of started to get the lid off the basket when they were shooting free throws. So he did really well. He had the great energy, the proper approach, still running the floor, doing the little things, and kind of not allowed his team to get into a funk.
Yeah, all right, let's get to the highlights so you can see it.
Bring it.
Lakers.
Rep, you guys know how that works. In this case, getting back down here, so JJ made it very clear to us, look, Duke is playing right now. It is late in the second half, so he wanted to try and get through this presser as quickly as possible. So I tried to comply and ask my questions very quickly, but of course we did need to start with Marcus Smart, just checking in to see how that ankle is doing, and then also just figuring out what that's going to look like today. The Lakers coming off of the long road trip, a very successful one, albeit at 5-1, and how they can carry that momentum into tonight's game against Brooklyn. So here's JJ.
He's making improvements. He's going to be still day to day. I mean, that's the hope. Again, he took 2 hits, one to the one fall that kind of banged his hip up, and then the fall on his ankle. So, but he's improving. And
then just the consistency with Luka and the scoring right now. How much does that raise the floor of just everything else that has to happen on offense?
Well, I think we've seen over the last few weeks, just he's gotten full keys, control. He's the engine, and he's driving a lot of what we're doing on the offensive end.
JJ, when you've been gone this long on the trip, what's the biggest challenge teams face, and you guys will face coming back?
This game in particular, it's another road trip game. It's just the next city. Looking forward to being home and sleeping in our own beds for a few days and having 2 days off for the first time in season since December 26th and 27th. So that's the challenge. It feels like another game on the road trip when you come back home and it's only a day between games.
JJ, you've often talked about building championship habits throughout the season. During this recent stretch of success, what have been the main areas of growth in that department?
I would go back to something that's not like a tactical thing. It really is just our ability to bend and not break, and our ability to just play the game. Whatever the game is dictating, we're going to play that game. And that sometimes means less shots. It means changing defenses. It could just mean a number of things, and we just have played the game in front of us. That to me is a habit. It's not trying to manipulate things or trying to look ahead to the next game or we got down 10, we'll just we'll give up. Like those things were all happening earlier in the season. They're just not happening right now.